99. I think I would probably casually enjoy playing her once she's finished, and I'll probably get her up easily to like the same level as my other character, my original, right, that she's based off of. But like, I don't think I'll actively sit here and try to play through getting to 99 or anything like that. Like, it would be more so about like hopefully being enough of a level to deal with Baal when I have to eventually fight him, because you gotta remember, we only just got level 82 for the first time walking into Act 5 Hell. And I missed out on 2 levels in Act 4 because I had a full bar of XP up to here, and I died all the times to take it back down to 0. Then I got a half bar, and I died all the ways to take it back down to 0. Then I got all the way back up here, and we took it down to half again. So it takes a while to get me a level sometimes. I've had a few times where I've had an almost entire bar, and we've just lost the entire thing, dying non-stop. It just happens. I want to pick up this bow before I keep fighting these guys in this area. I can at least be using that while we're out here. That is the nice thing, is if I pick up a fucking charm, I can enjoy it while we're here. Until we go home, and then I've got to either decide if I want to keep it or sell it. That's the only fun part. Nah, this is legit, actually, genuinely all fun. But like, I can see how a lot of people find it very grueling compared to like the ultra fast paced kind of like play styles of today and shit, you know. I watch the play styles of today and I'm like, I don't even know if you're enjoying it or if it's just like labor intensive at this point to like run through that area. Now, I was saying this when I walked out to Bloodmoor first time tonight, is I was actually genuinely taking it careful because I'm so used to playing through Act 5. When my original character, my original Diablo 2 character got completed, right? I ran through like Act 5 so much. Like, I'd walk out the gates and I'd run all the way through, do all the things. I'd just sit there for a day and just do all the things until I'd fought Baal, and then I'd go again. Or I'd go and fight Diablo in like, you know, the River of Flame and go fight him and shit and stuff, right? But I spent a lot of time just rerunning Act 5. So when I run outside in Act 5, I'm not really being careful, and I sometimes just walk out and die, which is what we had in Nightmare, unfortunately. I walked outside and I died basically straight away. We didn't have that tonight, which was nice. But still, it wouldn't have surprised me if I would have done it. Right, I'm just going to run along this bit. I'm pretty sure I've cleared most of it. So I'm 99 with these rules. Just forgive me. Yeah, basically. Like I said, I think the other thing too is the fact that there are so many parameters for this playthrough. I get a lot of comments on my YouTube videos because, as you guys know, I like cut them up and I put them onto YouTube for people to watch later, right? But YouTube's like about a month and a half behind normally. Okay, so I get comments about like the playthroughs, like, geez, why aren't you using rune words? Or, you know, if you got the better helper and stuff like that, it would be better and easier and stuff like that. Or if you put like certain specific item on, it would be easier. And I'm like, it would be, but it wouldn't be this playthrough. I could make a dime a dozen great character or okay character, and she'd just be run-of-the-mill, same, like, might as well just watch anybody kind of thing. This is purposely terrible, and it's fucking hilariously fun, and really challenging too. The other thing too is, I know the Resurrected, obviously you can change your settings and shit to be auto pickup of stuff and whatever, and like your coin and shit, and I just don't care for that. Not my jam. I think I've got an extra one of that. I'll keep one of these though. What the fuck? Ah, Andre Raiders, welcome in. I'm like deep in thought for a second there, and then my like thing started belting out song, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't actually know if that's loud for you guys. Let me know, because for me it sounded like really quiet lately. How the fuck are you, Andre? I thought you were playing like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls. One of the two. I can never fucking tell them apart. But, welcome in. Snap a bullet. You guys up to? The one-shot everything run with an assassin. All sorts of weird challenges. Zarafin does a lot of them. Example, huge unique items paladin run. So anything he didn't one-shot, he had to do again. Oh my god, that would be infuriating. But yeah, welcome in everyone. Andre, I don't know if you've got to like rest or go to work or whatever. It feels like a really weird time for you to be streaming and raiding, honestly, is when like I'm live. Because like Andre's normally like streams after or later than me, usually, so it's really weird to see him so early. But yeah, anybody that's like new in and stuff, welcome in. Playing Diablo II Resurrected with an OCD nostalgia playthrough, which is absolutely bonkers, but fantastic. So, my game crashed earlier tonight, and I'm having to run all the way back up to try and fight Shank the Overseer. But I'm probably honestly gonna run out of time before that. I have made it really far back up here, but I haven't made it as far because we lost the map. So, yeah, that kind of does suck. It was like the other week with the, what do you call it? Plains of Despair, where we lost the whole map when the game crashed. So, the only good thing is it's not crashing in the same way as it was in the River of Flame, and I have got a level. So it's very nice. We're 82 finally. Alright. But, so it was not loud for Twitch either. I didn't think so. I don't want my alerts to be like too blindingly loud, but I feel like at some point I did turn down my radar alert, but I can never quite tell because some games, like for instance Project Zomboid, is very quiet, and then other games like this, there's a lot of noise going on, and I also adjust the volume in my headset a lot, so the game is consistently same volume, but what I'm hearing is sometimes louder or quieter depending on the night. And so sometimes when it goes off, I don't know if I'm just hearing it clearer or whatever. But, yeah. I don't know, I'm glad that it's not like super loud or anything. I only have like a couple of things that are super loud, and they're like paid for jump scares and shit. So if somebody's paying to scare the shit out of me, that's fine. But like apart from that, I don't like things being like shockingly loud. Unless like there's a reason for it, kind of thing. Like maybe Halloween or something like that, you know? When everybody's on edge. But I'm hoping that he's not that far up. I kind of wish I had done a mental map of where we were on the map. These guys aren't being too difficult to kill, being immune to cold and stuff, but the other guys that are teleporting everywhere, they're a pain in the ass. But yeah, no, I find that like most people that really enjoy like Diablo 2 itself as a game, apart from like the fact that like quite a lot of people obviously these days play like the ladders and stuff like that, apart from that, I do find that a lot of like people that came from like the old original Diablos do tend to enjoy what I'm fucking doing, in the sense of like it being more a patient game, as opposed to like blurring around the place and stuff. But like the one hit kill playthrough, my god, that sounds insane. Somebody also asked me if I'd play on like hardcore, and I'm like, obviously not for this character, but like I don't think I could stay alive, because generally speaking when I'm streaming I'm absolutely gas bagging, and so there's times where I'm just like having a big old chit chat and I'll just die, and I won't even like immediately know what killed me, and I'll just be like, oh, I'm dead. And of course, you know, natural kind of reaction is whenever a character like dies in games, it's like, oh shit, you know, I didn't mean to like distract you and stuff like that. That's just natural response and stuff, but I legit don't care. I've died so much, I don't really care if she dies. Like, it can be like a difficulty thing when there's certain areas where it's really hard to get back to stuff, but there's never a time that I'm like genuinely pissed off with somebody or anything like that. I said there's a big base for single player and ladder. A lot of jewelers with all that maxed out builds, or non-ladder. Oh yeah. Well, I know that when ladder sort of comes out, a lot of people are kind of like, oh, are you playing ladder and stuff like that, because they want to see like a playthrough and stuff, but I'm not playing ladder. I'm not planning to ever do any ladders. It's not really something that I want to do or that interests me. I would 100% obviously play like my sorcerer OC playthrough. Hers wouldn't be as bad, like I said, but I would definitely do hers. And then after that, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Like, I think I'd probably maybe come back to one of them. If I wanted to be playing them more, I would probably come back and I would take them probably all the way back through. I reckon this is what I'd do actually. I would grab one of my characters, log in and try to sit there and play through as much of normal through to nightmare through to hell as I physically could and see how long that takes. That's something I would probably do with these characters. Now I don't know if I would do that like back to back or what, but like I'm not really sure if I want to go straight on to my sorcerer or if I want to play my Amazon a little bit longer kind of thing. I'm not quite sure yet, because after I finish my Amazon, which is probably at least another 6 months from now, give or take, I do want to take like a very small break just from my Amazon before I play my next character, with the view that then I'm not kind of like stuck in the route of like this particular character, and I can kind of like get my head around the other one, because she's not going to be the same sort of thing. But I also kind of think that it would be almost better for me to finish playing her as like a whatever level run through from start to finish while I'm still very familiar with her. I think that would be fun. So I might do that before eventually swapping over, and whatever level she ends up being is whatever level she ends up being. Because it should be easier. Since, you know, Diablo is supposed to be not so much capped to a level, but it is kind of like set levels, set areas kind of thing. So if I'm like a 99 or something like that and I go into normal, I should be walking around like basically just like smacking things down kind of thing. It shouldn't be leveled up to like a 90 something, you know? There you are, mate. I knew one of these guys came down here. But yeah, I think that's more so what I would probably do. If I had a bit more time on this character, I'd probably just play her through all of normal through to hell and see how hard or easy it is. Obviously, she would still have like the same leveling stat conditions, I think. Did you also open every single jar and chest? I did. That is part of looting the entire map. So whenever there's a corpse or there's a little container or whatever, yeah, I have to like pick up everything. So yeah, sometimes I get hurt by shit too, doing that. And this, and obviously hitting all of the what do you call it? I got room in here. Hitting all the shrines as well. It's not so much a oh, don't leave any shrine behind kind of thing. It's more of a there's a shrine, I really need the help kind of thing, necessity. But yeah, no, I literally the whole point of like picking up and selling everything, killing everything, getting all the map is all the loot everywhere. Whoops, I didn't mean to drop that. That's why like certain areas are harder than others to go through. Like I've been saying this before, that I find that Luke Lane has a lot of loot in it, and I find that Karras overall does have quite a lot of loot, but you know, Act 4 doesn't really have a lot of loot. So certain areas you get certain types of things, like certain areas will give you a lot of rejuvenation potions, for instance, and certain areas will give you a lot of health and mana or specific gear type and stuff like that. Like a lot of people said, oh, when you're in Act 5, the Burning Arch is where you're going to get all your bows from. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still waiting. We had Burning Arches earlier tonight. I wasn't getting anything nice. I got like a, I don't know, some kind of like a superior bow. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys the bow that I was using through all of Nightmare and into most of Hell until Luke Ghislaine or Karras. I think it was Karras before I got the other bow, give or take. It might have been Luke Ghislaine. But yeah, this is what I was using. It does obviously have a couple of runes in it, but it's got a jewel, a gem, and random runes and shit in it. So I can throw individuals of whatever in there as long as it doesn't specifically make a word. It's fine. But yeah, that's what I used from most of Nightmare, from Act 5 Nightmare, at least, because I got it named. all the way through to Loot Ghislaine, and I'm not quite sure where in Loot Ghislaine. I think we were up to... I don't think it was the Viper Temple specifically, but I know it was around there because I started, like... I started really buying for a bow at that point. Mind you, I still had to wait till this maxed out and that maxed out before I could gamble for one, but I still did it twice in Loot Ghislaine. So Loot Ghislaine gives you a lot of fucking money. But I'm currently waiting to be able to gamble for a new bow. I've been waiting for a while. I was hoping to get one in the last area, but I died so many times that we ran out of money for it. Obviously, I haven't got down to 0 for a while. Not for quite a bit. But it happens every so often, specifically when like Eliza dies quite a lot. Then I start obviously like taking massive hits and stuff. But yeah, these guys I've been able to like stand beside for the most part, and I've been able to land hits on without dying. So I've been able to use my offhand weapon, which has been a little bit nice because I do a lot more damage with my offhand weapon. But generally speaking, like unless I think I can stand there without dying, I mostly have to just stand at a distance with my bow and use fire against fire types and stuff. So the fire type battles, you know, the fire immunes, they are very slow paced. So if you guys think that like some of this progression is slow, you wait until I go up against like a good little smack of fucking actual like fire immunes, and then we start talking about like slow paced battles. Most of the Bloodmoor was fire immune. Most of the Cold Plain had the shamans. Also, I'm like sort of not that strong against fire types. I don't give a shit about cold resistance because I've got like can't be frozen and half freeze duration, so I don't give a shit. Poison is still a bit of an issue, but lightning absolutely kills me. And the funny thing is, that's consistent. That was really consistent between my original and this me. So I'm actually quite impressed with that because I'm like, I didn't think I was going to get some of it exactly same. Because obviously, you know, I cannot possibly have the exact same gear. I cannot have the exact same charms. The specs on all these things will be different. It's just how it is. But like, to get that so similar, I'm really impressed by that. Like, I'm disturbingly impressed by that because I've done almost the exact same route with how bad my stuff here is. I do feel like I had some level of cold resistance originally, but yeah, we haven't got that yet. We had 100% fucking, not 100%, you know, the plus like 75 or whatever against poison and nightmare. And we came in here and everything just immediately went to like, what is it, -80 or something. And I'm like, I went outside and I fought something that did poison. You know, the little quill beasts? Oh, I love them so much. I went outside and fought one of them and they cast poison, right? This bit little poison quills. And I was like, why am I dying from poison all of a sudden? I'm immune. And I looked down at my stats and I'm like, oh, I'm not immune at all. That's a problem. But yeah. I don't know. Just how Diablo is. Like, I knew when we got up to Karras I was going to have a problem because a lot of things out in Karras are poison. Like, all the spiders. Loot Ghislaine was obviously all the, what do you call them? The maggots. All the maggots. Honestly, the electric bugs, you know, the scarabs, they were my biggest gripe. Because, you know, in the maggot layer, it gets really like tight and windy. And if they're casting lightning, you can't really stand in too many spots and actually like fight very well. So that was really, really difficult. I actually did really well in there though. That was the thing that surprised me the most, was that the maggot layer wasn't terrible in Nightmare or Hell. Some of the areas were surprising like that. Like some areas just went better than others and stuff. How did you kill the Chaos Sanctuary with the Immolation Arrow? Hold on a second. Chaos Sanctuary. Oh, what? You mean like against Diablo? That was literally last week. Yeah, no, alright. Eliza stayed dead for much of the battle. She just, as soon as he does, like, you know, the circular wave of fire going out, she was dead. Valkyrie was kind of like getting desummoned almost every second hit, I believe. and I used up my stash of rejuvenation potions, which is why I have room in my page's stash at the moment. Against the fire immunes. I mean, it's no different than any other battle, it just takes a while. Like, same shit, different day. Like, this guy's fire immune. Like, he's not that bad. He isn't actually that bad as far as, like, all these go. Luke Lane is the town law. Yeah, and? I like referring to the act Luke Lane. Luke Lane is my favorite. Thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, no, I like referring to, like, the different areas and stuff. I won't necessarily always drop the specific zone and stuff. Generalization is fine, you know. But yeah, Luke Lane, generally, Act 2 is my favorite. I love the music. I like the creatures. I like the area. I don't even know why, because, like, I'm not really a huge desert fan and stuff, but I hate kind of crust. It is not, like, my least favorite, but I definitely don't enjoy it as much as my other areas. I don't enjoy Pandemonium Fortress area, Act 4. Just, like, music and general overall sort of, like, feeling of outside is just kind of meh. I also don't enjoy so much, like, the demons don't drop much, or if they do, it's kind of like shit. It's crap. But yeah, I don't get much out of, like, those kind of areas. I like the Rogue Encampment Act 1 for nostalgia. It is just beautiful. I love being there. And then Act 2, same reason. I love the music. I will take extra time in Luke Lane to fuck around in town just to listen to the town music. Then this area, like I said, like, not so much the bloody Foothills, but the music in general in Act 5, I do really enjoy, because I spent a lot of time rerunning Act 5 back in the original game. So, like, when I play through it, it's just a pleasant sound kind of thing. I'm familiar enough with the creatures. I don't greatly like this jig-jaggy shit. I hate big open world areas. I prefer when we've got to go down into dungeons and it's more sectioned off kind of areas. More waypoints are lovely too. My god, waypoints. Because obviously when I've got waypoints, I don't have to clear a big old area, and I can start from waypoints more often and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot about this game I just love in general. Like, you know, the coin sound effect when you pick it up, when you drop it, the potions, all the sound effects of, like, a lot of the weapons, armor, spells. I love her, like, little, like, seeing spell or sight spell, whatever the fuck it is. That thing. I just like the sound effect of it. I love the sound of the auras. They're beautiful. I love how the Chaos Sanctuary looks now. Like, I loved how it always was, and I love Diablo and stuff, but, like, yeah, it just has, like, an extra special layer of pretty and stuff now. I honestly like fighting Diablo probably the most, just because I like Diablo the most out of the entire everything. I have fought Baal the most, though, out of every boss. I have fought Endariel the least. And Juriel, I forget exists. I fought him, but I forget that he exists, and I forget what he does all the time. So I go in there thinking that he's gonna do poison, and he does freezing, and his battle was great. The first time I went against him, we were so weak, and I wasn't ready for a freezing battle where, like, my helpers weren't able to really cast much damage because they were freezing. So we were in and out of portals, like, nearly non-stop, trying to go back and spamming health and spamming, like, all the potions and shit. I'll tell you what, though, Nightmare Baal's minions was the worst battle we've had in Resurrected so far. When I went up against Nightmare and Baal's minions, my internet was lagging, and every third arrow, or every second arrow, was an arrow that was actually launched from my bow and my helper's bows, and every third, like, stab, and it took forever. I kept running out of stuff, and I had to keep going back to town to, like, get replenishment arrows and mana and shit, because I couldn't stand in there and replenish my shit. And then on top of that, the fuckers were healing because it was a snapshot of hell. and I wasn't ready for that. So every time I went back into town, they healed a little bit, and oh, it was fucking terrible. It took forever too. It took a couple of hours to fight Baal's minions in Nightmare, and then it was like instant to kill him. It was so immediate. He was just dead. Give me those. I said they did a phenomenal job with the sound design in Diablo 2. I really feel like they did. There's another one of these things up here. I feel like your worst battle was with the game crashing. I think I did okay against that nuke though. Like, I think we did really well because I started timing it after a while, and like the last run lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes, and the time before that was like 1 hour and 20, and the shortest run of that was 5 minutes. That was really, really hard because I'd load in, I'd just get down into like the River of Flame, and then we would start fighting something, the game would crash, and I'd have to load back in and go again. And just keep going until we actually progressed and stuff. That was last week for anybody that missed it. Here he is. Okay, first up, let me go back to town. Hold up, we made it back to him. Let me save my XP, sell some shit.
Salutations.
Okay, I wasn't expecting to get back to him. But this is great. Let me sell all this shit. I've got health. Okay, here's hoping it doesn't crash after I kill him like before. And I get the XP, and I get his shit, and we get back to town, okay? That's the goal. Have I got shit in my cube? I do. Alright, that's okay. I can sell that at the other dude. I'll get some arrows while I'm here.
Can I help you?
Yeah, you can. Do you have arrows? Yes? Heal me? Yeah, cool. Everything's sweet. Was it maybe just me though? What, with the battle? I feel like it was grueling for everybody involved, honestly, with the crashing. I think that I appreciate everybody's patience for sitting through that bullshit. And I didn't speed it up, by the way. I didn't cut anything for the VODs going to YouTube, so everybody that's going to watch that is going to see it as it was, as it is. So, okay, the only thing I want to stop here is I want the explodey dudes not to come down here. And somebody in here's got electricity, so here's hoping. Let's put you at the back there. The overall aesthetics, just crazy good job. They really did, though, with this game. A lot of people often recommend games that are like Diablo or are similar to Diablo, and people just don't get that what I like about Diablo is it is Diablo. And if I wanted to play something that was like Diablo, I'll be playing Diablo. You know, so it's really just that. Like, recommending a game that's similar to it is just not really worth it, because I played this for what it is, and it's just pure beautiful nostalgia and artwork in itself kind of thing, you know. I wish the games were a little bit more like that these days. What are you? Demon extra strong, lightning enchanted, fire enchanted, immune to fire, immune to cold. Let's get you in here. It's going to take a bit. Eliza's at least helping. Okay, there's one more douchebag up here. I don't know if I can get you dead where you are. Oh, Eliza's helping. Let's get rid of the imp, because he's fire immune. I can't stand next to Chink. If he casts lightning, I'm dead. Okay? So I can't move from here. If he moves, I've got to adjust. Ancients will be so difficult. We have to spam potions on the ground. Actually, the Ancients weren't bad in Nightmare. As long as I can actually get some levels in Hell through here, I should be okay. But yeah, they are difficult. But I have done them, I'm pretty sure. No, you don't. Let me get back into town. Hold up. Let me get that. So talk to Lazarus.
Did I do that?
Yep, let's go talk to him. I want this quest. This is twice I've done this tonight. It's this dude, isn't it? No, it's not him. Hold on, it's this one. No, wait, that's Quellcack. It's the fucking... Oh, it's the blacksmith dude. Sorry, I'm just like, I need to speak to somebody right now.
You're an even greater warrior than I expected. Sorry for underestimating you. As a token of my appreciation, I will craft sockets into an item of your choosing. And from now on, you'll get the best price for all my wares.
I thought he puts a name on it. I guess that's later. That's okay. Right now, I don't want to put sockets on that. I do, but I don't. He said on a weapon, right? Hold on. Did you say weapon? Choose item which adds sockets. I'm not going to test that theory, but I'd love to put sockets on this thing. Although I've kept a lot of stuff for armor, weapon related shit. Okay, so I'm trying to get a better bow, just like I did with the original game. When we got to Hell, I waited to imbue like the final bow that I had, because whatever I slap a name on and put some sockets in, like this and that, have to stay in my stash forever. They don't just get gone at some point, so they'll always take up stash inventory space. Like I said, I can't use shared shit. We didn't have that. But yeah, all this area was previously filled up with rejuvenation potions before I fought Diablo. But, like, that's currently my backup bow, and that's my named one. But, I do want the... I don't know if I can put sockets on a magic item. I'll fucking find out later. I'll find out when I try to do it. It's mostly like I just can't remember that part, and I don't want anybody to like comment on it because it doesn't matter. I'll fuck around with it when I get to it. Let's see. What's that monumental battle ahead? What, for the ancients? This area wasn't too bad, but the ancients shouldn't be too bad by the time I get to them, unless I have repetitive deaths like I did, or like crashes and stuff, where I can't get a level. In those events, by all means, they are very hard. Like when I went up against Diablo in Act 4 last week, that was really hard. Just because I was probably about at least 3 levels under where I should have been for that. And obviously the level of her attacks and the amount of damage and her armor, all the things, was way under where it should have been. I'm aware that there's a waypoint a little bit further up here, and I'm just gonna give it a little bit extra. I'm not gonna push on to like 4 fucking hours or something like that. I'm just gonna try to get up the hill a little bit more, because if we had the waypoint, all holding on for like nothing happening, we can get that. And no, I can't just run straight to it. I have tried a few times, but I still have to like clear the area, and I still have to get all the map. And every time I ever fucking beeline for a waypoint, I end up dead and spending half an hour to 90 minutes trying to get my corpse back. So we don't do that. I did also do that when I was a kid, so it's quite funny when it happens. It's like, I feel like the kind of like cap that I've gotten from kind of doing the same dumb shit because the game is just as hard as when I was a kid and shit, has like resulted in her probably being about the same level, or about that. Alright, I see you, mate. Now there's another one I think down beneath me. There's definitely a couple up above us. Hold on, let's give you that to play with. Play with Valkyrie. Here's the steps, which means there should be a portal just up above us, a waypoint. I just gotta kill this little dude over here. Where'd you go? There you are. I know, there's like 3 of them down here. I guess they've all teleported down. I'm hoping that at least like next week they all go back to being like the oh fuck, I thought it was gonna crash for a second there. I'm like, oh, the lag. Fucking hell. It's okay, we're still here for the moment. How much time did it take you to reach to here? So we were at 2.5 hours into stream, or about 2 hours 20-ish, when it crashed earlier and we lost all this map. And I only had a 5-minute countdown at the start of stream, so around about that. There it is. Hold on. Let's get this. Let's go back to town. And then coming back in, I would say probably another hour and a half it's taken to get back to it. Maybe? Yeah, it is Act 5, Andre. Some post-stream cleanup to do. Going to search... Was it going in search of soda? My god, yes. I also want soft drink. But yeah, no, go for it. They've been lurking so far. No, I appreciate it, Andre. I also appreciate your raid. I figured you might have been busy. I did hear of what happened to your hard drive earlier today dying. So yeah, I was really surprised to see you streaming tonight actually at all after that. But I figured it might have been something that didn't have existing save files, so therefore it was like a good time to start something. That's what I figured. I mean, from level 1 to now. Oh, from level 1 to now. Give me a second. I can answer that question. When did I start? Let's see, Diablo 2. I have that archived. Maybe I've got it on my other one. At some point I did have to take my saves off my computer. For like hard drive space. Okay, so I entered the rogue encampment in normal for the very first time on the 10th of December in 2024. And for the most part, I have played this almost every Thursday, not always. I have missed quite a lot, but there have been some weeks where I have played twice that week to try to make up for the one that I've missed. So it's been almost every week since the 10th of December 2024. So it's been a while. That doesn't sound right. Hold on a second. Is that which encampment? Hang on a ticket. Let's see. Okay, I started Nightmare in... Oh no, hold on. Hold your horses. This is just when I've got the copy back up. Alright, no, sorry. Mistake there. The 22nd of the 4th, so 22nd of April in last year is when I walked into normal. And then I walked into Nightmare on the 13th, the 6th last year. And we walked into Hell on the 10th of October last year. So like normal Nightmare to Hell was most of last year, like April until October. So it didn't take very long going normal and Nightmare. And then Hell has been October, and we're currently in June. So I'm expecting to be probably around October, if not later when we finish this. So yeah, it has taken some time. Impressive dedication. Should I rattle off how long I've been playing the fucking RimWorld save? Because that one's been going for a lot longer. Let me go and put my fucking coin away. I think that the quest will... Yeah, no, I know how long I've been playing the RimWorld save. I don't think that one's going to go away until I imbue my things. This is going to be here for most of it, but we have got the rescue on Mount Ariat. So as far as RimWorld goes, again, I have to go back through the folders. And sorry about quoting the wrong date, but I was going off the date that I've modified, but it would have been a copy backup. Then I have everything dated specifically. So let's see. Asura started on the 7th of March 2023. So yeah, it's been 2 years and a bit. March, 3 more months. Yeah, 2 years and 3 months for RimWorld, for my current RimWorld save. Now, RimWorld, on the other hand, I have played, like, I would say 1.5 times a week, because whenever I'm unwell, I default back to playing RimWorld.